So I've been meaning to want to do this type of video for a while now, and it's something along the lines of decluttering as per the title. And I find that when you have space, you try to tend to fill it depending on what you buy, and as the years go on, this space gets smaller and smaller. I've read quite a few articles and listened to the book, Marie Kondo's book on the life-changing art of tidying up, and I want to do something that's going to make me force some real change and make some hard decisions in terms of, do I really want this item or am I just keeping it? So I'm going to do the 30-day Minimalism decluttering challenge, and this is where you throw away a piece of item as whatever day you're on. So day 1 you throw 1 item, day 2 you throw away 2 items, and so on until you get to day 30. Hopefully I'll be able to complete the challenge, and hopefully this will really force me to ask some difficult questions. And I've actually been wanting to do this type of challenge for a while now. I'm going to be asking myself 2 questions each time I throw away an item. Does this item give me any type of joy? And have I used this item within the last year or so? If the answer to both of those questions are no, that's a sure sign telling me to get rid of that item. So I'm going to get straight into it, and hopefully I'll be able to complete the challenge, and I'll see you at the end. So on the first day, I had this old IKEA chair that the legs were broken, and it was fairly easy to decide this was the first thing that I wanted to throw away. On day 2, I threw away a ruler and a container. On day 3, I threw away an empty container hand sanitizer, some fairy lights, and a glass jar that I never use. On day 4, I threw away some glass jars for some tea lights and a packet of soothers. On day 5, I threw away some tea lights. On day 6, I turned to my shelf and I thought, let me throw away these postcards that I never got around to using, an old booklet from a store that I'd collected, some more paper from a project that I was working on, and 2 empty bottles that I was reusing. And lastly, a frame that I was hoping to reuse but never got around to doing. On day 7, I threw away some more empty bottles, a Brita filter that I used to use, and then I looked behind my door, and then I saw a load of empty paper bags that I always have the intention of reusing, but they just tend to build up over time. So on day 8, I turned to my shelf, and these are some Spanish flashcards that I've never actually used. I'm ashamed to say I had good intentions, but I did use this book. But I also decided to throw some other books that I've read that I didn't see much value in terms of reading it again, and they were just taking up space. And there's only one book, which is this one, which I didn't read. Right, so day 9. This is an item that I've just sold on eBay actually, so technically I'm not throwing it away. It's an electric toothbrush that I got for Christmas that I've never actually used because I've actually got one already. A guidebook from Thailand from when I went all the way back in 2015, I think. This is some packaging for a screen protector that I bought off Amazon. Another book that I never read before, and some guide pamphlets that I took from holiday. An empty box of some AirPods that I'd bought. Another plastic bottle. As you can tell, I've got an obsession with hoarding bottles. And lastly, some tooth whitening paste. I didn't actually realise it was tooth whitening at the time, and I used it once. On day 10, I kept it simple. I turned to my shelf and I saw that I had loads of pens that I don't actually use. I don't actually use any physical pens other than the one on the iPad anymore, so I thought, let me just throw some pens away. On day 11, I threw away a metal container, the case for the Apple Pencil that I had, some speakers that I do not use, an empty box for some camera equipment, some glasses that I've scratched, highlighters, a brush, some string, and a few pencils. On day 12, I threw away a travel pillow, some sellotape. I don't know why I had so many reels of sellotape. I literally had 7 reels. Aeroplane tags, a bottle of aftershave that I don't like the smell of anymore, some thread. On day 13, I threw away a hat, an empty box, an empty bag, a tripod accessory, some post-it notes, some floss, toothpaste, and some toiletries, a sewing kit case, and some super glue, and 2 old iPhones that have been sitting in my drawers, and another empty tube of toiletries. Day 14, a corkboard. This was just a whiteboard, and I think it came off some IKEA furniture. A plastic lunchbox, some glucose powder, olive oil, some champagne. I think I was gifted some items from the kitchen that I'll never use. An empty box, another toiletry item, a tape measure, and a USB stick. On day 15, I thought I'd go into the wardrobe and throw out some clothes. So this is a mixture of denim, shorts, quite a few scarves, a hoodie, and last but not least, 2 pairs of trainers. On day 16, I threw out a towel, some empty carrier bags, an empty box, a shoe container, some DIY tools, an umbrella, and 2 laptops. And this suitcase where the wheels are totally destroyed. Some packaging, some whey protein that I'm never going to use, and another empty box. On day 17, a fake leather bag, some juggling balls that I used for a thumbnail, a pair of gym gloves that ripped, and a pen, a woolly hat that I didn't want to throw away, bandana, I don't know why I got this bandana, some gloves, some more gloves, a clothes container that's just totally lost its shape, glasses, some glass cases, and an old watch. Day 28.